Ah yes, Watch Dogs. A good series with much potential. And in today's video, I will be mentioning my thoughts on where the game is now and where I believe it will be when Legion releases, or it'll be in 5 years. And I'll be discussing whether I like the first Watch Dogs or second Watch Dogs better, and what I believe they can improve on the third Watch Dogs, aka Legion. So yeah, little gamers, I'm gonna have some gameplay in the back, and I think you'll be able to differentiate the differences between the first and second Watch Dogs. Like for instance, the gameplay right now is the first Watch Dogs, and I'll throw some Watch Dogs 2 gameplay in. They're both good games, it's just I favor one more than the other due to certain reasons that I will discuss in this video. But yeah, little gamers, stay tuned to listen for high quality. So first of all, starting out on my thoughts for the first Watch Dogs, overall, it was a really good game. It was one of my favorite Ubisoft games that I've ever played. One of my favorites being, well, my favorite series being the Splinter Cell series. But this Watch Dogs game was really good. I expected it to not be as good as it was, but it really outdid itself. And I know it was promised more on release, but I still don't care. This was a really good game. I didn't actually buy it until recently because I forgot about it. About the second one first, but I was very surprised, and I'm really proud of Ubi for making this game. As you know, I'm a big Ubi fan. I believe they have high quality games. But my main criticism for this game is, well, hacking doesn't really feel like hacking. Whereas in the second Watch Dogs, you can do stuff with your hacking. Like sure, you can blow up steam pipes and do takedowns, but that gets boring after a while. Like, don't you want any new sorts of hacking? Which I guess is coming in Legion also, but yeah, that's my main criticism for this game. Another criticism I have is that the city, I don't know, it just doesn't feel that interactive sometimes. It feels a little clunky. Yeah, the shooting mechanics are really good. Also, I like, I know most people probably don't like this, but I actually like the CTOS scan. I think it's good since it gives you a reason to be afraid of the police. Whereas in the second Watch Dogs, you can just go willy-nilly walking around shooting people and have civilians not even calling the cops on you. Like, it's so dumb. The police don't ever chase you, and then when they do, it's so ineffective that you can just easily thwart them. Whereas in the first Watch Dogs, it's an actual challenge to get away from the police, instead of just holding L1 and spamming X every time I want to do something. It actually feels like a high quality gaming experience. Another thing too is that the storyline actually is enjoyable to play in the first Watch Dogs. Like, I was already in Act 2, 2 hours into the game because I wouldn't stop playing the storyline because it's too good. Whereas in the second Watch Dogs, it's so boring to play the storyline. It feels like a task instead of something fun to do, instead of a hobby. Whereas you just have to go around and like be forced to do these missions. There's like 3 missions that I remember in Watch Dogs 2 that I actually enjoyed doing that wasn't tedious, such as painting signs or painting billboards or doing graffiti. I just want to play a normal storyline, whereas Watch Dogs allows me to do that, but Watch Dogs 2 just threw that factor out the window. Another thing I like about Watch Dogs is it takes problem solving to complete a lot of issues and problems and missions in this game. It actually feels good to play this game and complete a puzzle that's really difficult. Whereas in Watch Dogs 2, you can just use your dumb little RC jumper to complete puzzles. And for half of the puzzles, you need your stupid little quadcopter, which is when you're like level 2, it's dummy expensive. So it takes 10 years to buy this little stupid little quadcopter when I could be buying more useful things. I don't want to buy a quadcopter when I'm trying to stock up on guns or buy cars. I don't want to have to waste that much money. I know some of you little gamers are probably going to be like, it's not even that much money. Well, when you're like level 3, it's a lot of cash. You can barely afford crap. Whereas in this Watch Dogs, it takes problem solving to complete certain tasks. Like for instance, getting Rabbit out of the camp, it takes problem solving. Instead of just using your RC jumper to guide him, you actually have to switch through the cameras and complete it. And another thing too is the second Watch Dogs is way too easy when it comes to puzzles. Like, it has more puzzles, but the puzzles are so much easier, I've noticed. It's literally like simple crap, but you have to rotate once and then it's like, how will I complete the puzzle? I wonder how. It's literally just press L1 once, or even if you want to take the extra step, hold L1 and then press X. Wow. Very difficult. I had such a hard time solving this problem. Whereas in the first Watch Dogs, you have to take your time in order to complete these puzzles. And people actually get sent after you that aren't the cops besides gangs. But I will give Watch Dogs 2 this, that gangs are a good idea. I think they're breath of fresh air from the first Watch Dogs. And I like the map so much better in Watch Dogs, the first one, because it just feels like a city. And I know San Francisco isn't that much like built upwards, it's more spread out. But I just think for the Watch Dogs experience, a city not spread out but built upwards is the better way to go. I just think that UB picked the wrong city. I feel like they should have gone with, I don't know, like Denver, New York, or something. I don't know, I just think it would be a better idea instead of San Francisco. Don't get me wrong, San Francisco is a big city, it's a good city, but it's too flat. There's like no fun events to do. And the first Watch Dogs, I will say this, the online is pretty boring. The only reason I'd get on this game is to play the storyline or DLCs, but yeah, and also the storyline, it's good, but once you complete it, there's like not really much to do. And another thing I will give UB on this is they did a good job compressing this game. Like less than 20 gigabytes just for this one high quality game, that is really good. And I see they compressed the second Watch Dogs also, but I feel like they possibly could have done some more. But the thing about this game though, compared to the second one, is this one has been in development for 6 years, whereas Watch Dogs 2 has been in development for half the amount of years as Watch Dogs. Which is dumb, because I feel like UB should have at least worked on it for at least 4 years before releasing the sequel. I don't know, that's just my opinion, but anyways, I think I've discussed all my opinions. Oh no, yeah, that's right, Reputation, dumb system, dumb. I don't think little gamers should swamp me and call the cops on me when I'm taking 2 steps on the street from getting out of my car. I had perfect parking and everything, and all these people are calling the cops on me. I didn't even do anything yet. Just standing there innocently. Oh, it's that eating beer guy. Catch him. So dumb. Like, I understand that they recognize you, but there shouldn't be 10 different people calling you at the same time while a CTOS scan is occurring. Like, can I just drive my car in peace without people recognizing me? And then like the hide-in car system doesn't even work that well unless you're like 200 feet away from one single person and no one else will notice. And actually now as I'm editing this video, I'm realizing that I have no Watch Dogs 2 gameplay in this. And I'm trying to get some, I promise you guys, but I'm gonna put a picture on screen right now of how long my PS4 is taking for this 1 GB file to download on my flash drive. And it's actually gone up to 19 hours currently. So I'll try to sit through all of this and get my crap, hopefully. But yeah, anyways. Is it worth 20 bucks? Most definitely yes. But is Watch Dogs 2 worth, like, I don't know, how much is it? 40? 35 bucks? Well, let's see right here. Alright, Watch Dogs 2. It's been like 2 weeks since I've recorded the first part of this video, and that's because I've been trying to get a hold of Watch Dogs 2 footage, and because my PS4 was misbehaving, so I had to borrow some gameplay from a friend who kindly lent it to me. Thank you, Little Tree Plays. I'll put a link in the description of your channel. But anyways, time to talk about Watch Dogs 2. Now, first of all, you'd think after the first Watch Dogs came out, you'd think, oh, Ubisoft's probably gonna work even harder and better on the second game, since the first one was very magnificent. Well, if you figure that, you're wrong. This game, I have mixed emotions about this game. I'm gonna start with my main criticism, which I don't like the main character's script. It's so cheesy. Like, for instance, in the storyline, when the DedSec members of San Francisco are all painting the car, well, they're about to paint the car, and one of his lines is, "Hackers like a challenge." Like, that's such a cheesy line to put in a hacking game. Like, it's so dumb. Oh yeah, hackers love a challenge would be a good idea to be a part of the script. Like, whose idea was that? I'm sorry if someone at Ubisoft was like really proud of that work, but that's just such a cheesy line. Like, that's so dumb. Ugh. But I will say this though, the map feels it feels less interactive, but you can control cars now. The profiling system feels a lot better. There's actual like terrain in Watch Dogs 2, unlike the first Watch Dogs. The map's bigger. Online's better. Your phone's better. Driving feels a lot better, plus the addition of boosting. And I'm happy that they took away... I'm very, very happy that they took away, focus from the first Watch Dogs, because that was honestly just like so OP offline. Like, I mean, it was good to slow down time and then shoot, but when it's paired with cars, it's just unfair. It's so OP. But I really think that they should bring back CTOS scans from the first Watch Dogs and implement it, hopefully, into Legion and Watch Dogs 2. I don't know. I think it's just that, like I said earlier, I feel like San Francisco is too much of a laid-back city, because like the West Coast has a reputation for being so laid-back compared to the rest of the US, and it's just such a calm city except for when there's criminals. I guess you could say that for any city, but compared to like Chicago, there's so much more to do than San Francisco. I will say this, the addition of gangs, that is a good feature. I like that. That is good, because you can start gang wars. Also, calling the cops on random people is good. Online play is really good in this game. I haven't tried it in the first Watch Dogs, so I can't criticize the first Watch Dogs online. But it's a really good concept. You have hacking invasion that's really fun. And it's also really useful because you can get a ton of followers from that. And just, it feels, in some ways and not in some ways, In some ways it feels more detailed than the first Watch Dogs, and in other ways it feels less detailed. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, take Driver SF. It feels so clean. I'm not even sure if they had it in the first Watch Dogs. I forgot. It's been half a week since I've played it. But Driver SF, that's really fun when you're just offline, bored. Like, that's a good feature. I generally use that, and I currently do. But it doesn't have, I'm pretty sure at least, that I don't think you can ride the tram, which is so dumb, because you can literally see it around the map, driving around on the tracks and stuff. And that'd be like such a good interactive feature to be able to ride the train, or tram. Like, for instance, in the first Watch Dogs, you can ride the L train, and it actually has a transparent windows to it, so you can see the rest of the city go by, which I think is pretty cool. That's a good feature, and I applaud Ubisoft for putting that in. But I wish these key elements would come to Watch Dogs 2, and hopefully to Legion. A bad feature about this game, though, is I don't want to have to grind for 10 years in order to unlock all the guns on Watch Dogs 2. Like, I'm no completionist, or whatever it's called, but I don't want to pay so much just for one gun, one weapon, whereas in the first Watch Dogs, it's not as relevant as Watch Dogs 2, so you're not even going to be playing online anymore that much. Therefore, you're not going to need to buy that much guns, whereas Watch Dogs 2 has a lot larger player base than Watch Dogs, the first one. So that's just something to take into consideration. The map in Watch Dogs 2 feels fresh. It feels new, and I think that's a good feature. But on the other hand, I feel like it's a bad feature also because the map's too spread out and it's not close together. But I do think that driving feels a lot worse in Watch Dogs 2. It doesn't, you can't like slide properly. It's a weird system. I think the first game had good mechanics. I think it had great mechanics, actually. I feel like, in my mind, GTA driving's too sensitive, and Watch Dogs is almost just right next to perfect, but Watch Dogs 2 is way far off. Drifting feels weird. Doesn't feel like I'm driving a performance car when I am. Feels like I'm driving a fast car that's incredibly bulky. I want to be able to feel like I'm driving a performance car when I'm driving a performance car. Also, the police, sometimes the police are actual idiots, and other times they can literally scan you through walls. And I think that needs to get worked on. Another thing I've had with this game that's a big issue is I can't play online for some reason. When I try to play online, it just gives me an error code, and it's weird because I can play online with people I don't know, like I can publicly matchmake, but I can't play online with my friends, which is dumb. I want to be able to play with my friends on a game that is actually enjoyable to me sometimes. I would want to play with Tree, or also known as Little Tree Plays, on Watch Dogs, but because of error code, I can't do that. Which is dumb, because I even emailed support, and they gave me this run-of-the-mill guide to how to fix that. And they're like, oh, you need to have Type 1. Type 1 internet! Which is incredibly stupid, because I'm not saying the tech support is stupid, but I'm saying the way that works is dumb, because I've had Type 2 for the longest time when playing this game, and I loaded it up one day, and it refuses to work. And I have PS Plus, I have literally every requirement to play online. Like, sure, my internet can be hit and miss sometimes, but still, it works. And I should be able to play online. Which is dumb. And I'm not even playing with anyone, and it'll put me on an online server. And you guys might say in the comments, "Oh, how do you know that?" Well, I know that because when I die, it won't play the animation. It'll just, like right here, it'll just lock onto one guy, highlight him in red, and have him walk around, and it'll say, blah blah blah, respawn. But this game shines in aspects, but I feel like it could shine more. I feel like it has more potential. I feel like you should scrap the RC jumper, keep the quadcopter but nerf it, add more problem solving to completing puzzles, add more problem solving elements, like instead of timed, maybe you could have one that switches randomly. Like sure, that would be frustrating, but that adds problem solving to the equation, which could be fun and interesting in gameplay, which I think is a really good idea. I also think that more effort should be put into this game to fix it up properly. I don't feel like Ubisoft was doing their best when they developed this game. I feel like they rushed it. It could have been a lot better. As you can see from the first game, it was a lot better than this one. I don't know. I just feel like Ubisoft could have done so much more with this, but they rushed it. Which, I mean, it didn't come out totally horrible, but it could have been a lot better. It didn't come out like Breakpoint, which is an actual trash can, but I just feel like it had so much more potential. They screwed it up. Why, Ubisoft? Why'd you do this? But anyways, enough talk about Watch Dogs 2. It's time to get into Legion and to give my opinions about that. I'm gonna let you guys watch the trailer first.
Ah, London. Had a good run there for a while. Now it's all riots, bombings, and people thrown in cages like animals. Oh, and who could forget the killer robots everywhere? So yeah, that's all gone a bit. It's up to us to take our city back. Thing is, we can't do it alone. We need to recruit a resistance. I know what you're thinking. Where do we start? Open your eyes and take a look around. Look here. Look at him. No, not him. Him. Former MI5.
Duty never ends.
He can get anywhere and erase anyone. See her?
Let's kick those out of London.
She got kicked out of Oxbridge Robotics School for teaching him to, reproduce. And that fella over there? Proper bellend.
Come on, come at me.
He'll crack your skull just for looking at him funny.
This had better be good.
And allow me to introduce you to the deadliest of the lot. She's not old, she's experienced. Like I said, you can recruit anyone, and I mean bloody anyone. Him, her, everyone is a secret weapon. Find them, recruit them, build the resistance. Let's unf this world.
For the players.
Okay, so what do you guys think of it? Please mention what you thought of it below in the comments section. I mean, if you want to. But personally, my opinions are, trailer looks good, graphics looks good, but my main problems that I would like to address are, well, first of all, drones. I think that's a dumb idea. Personally, it's because I've played Breakpoint and drones aren't fun. They're not an interesting enemy. It's just a flying metal plastic object. It's boring. I don't think it's going to be a good idea for Legion. It might, because this game is based on hacking mechanics. Well, not real life hacking mechanics, but you get the idea. I think choosing anybody, like any pedestrian, isn't that much of a good idea. I think you should be able to choose people, but only a certain selection. And I don't mean like 5 people. I mean like a wide selection of 30 to 60 people. I don't think you should be able to pick up an average Joe on the street and say, hey, do you want to fight the cops? Because, I mean, yeah. I think it is a good idea that each person specializes in one thing. But, I mean, you can only do so much specialties that one person can specialize in. I think it's pretty comedic also that you can choose the grandma to kill people, which is funny. And, I mean, it looks like a good game. I'm not gonna buy it on release, I presume, but I might if I'm convinced to. I mean, London's a pretty big city, so they're probably reverting back to the roots of Watch Dogs, meaning going head straight into a large city, closely compacted, very dense. But yeah, I would really like to see them going up against a giant tech company that's not Bloom, because you would think Bloom got taken down after the series of events that occurred from the last game. But if they bring Bloom back, I'll be pretty disappointed, honestly, because I mean, Bloom's just getting old by now. It was fun in the first and second Watch Dogs, but it might not be good in Legion. But yeah, that's my opinions concluded on Watch Dogs Legion. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. So, please like. I'm desperate. No, I'm not really though, but if you guys would consider it, that'd be cool. Thank you for watching this video, and I might come out with a reviewed video on Ubisoft as a whole, like my opinions on them, and possibly other stuff that I just feel like I would want to review in the future.